This is one of the levers, the most underlooked areas in the business that you can immediately increase profits without doing a single thing extra. Hey docs, Dr. Ryan Rieder here, owner of 8 practices, founder of DC Practice Growth, Ryan Rieder Inner Circle, and listen, I'm doing a lot more videos like this, so I hope they're helpful. First of all, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, throw me a comment, maybe even tell me a little bit more about what you'd like to see in the future. It really helps me a lot. So what am I talking about today? Listen, whenever I work with a doc, there's a couple levers. You heard me say that a few times, but there's a couple things I can pull, or triggers we can work on together that can help them grow, become more profitable, have more time, have the practice of their dreams. And normally, specifically for high volume docs, this is one of the levers, the most underlooked areas in the business that you can immediately increase profits without doing a single thing extra. That's right. You don't have to see one more person. You don't have to get one more new patient. You know how expensive it is to acquire customers? It's expensive. So any strategy that you can do simply by making a few decisions that can increase profit is a great strategy, because you will get natural ceilings in every business. And when you reach it, this is maybe one that you can pull again. It's exhausting to always think about numbers. It's exhausting to always think about new patients. There's an old saying that said, turnover is vanity, but profit is sanity. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. So all these guys talk about numbers all the freaking time. Listen, I've probably looked at more accounts than just about anybody on the planet. I can tell you the same guys right now that brag about numbers, who've come to me to, for instance, sell their practice, are making less money than the guys who are seeing 80 a week sometimes, because they haven't got a grip of what I'm just about to tell you right now. And it is this. It's that one of the metrics that you need to understand right now in your business is average visit fee. Average visit fee, or average adjustment fee if you're a adjustment only business or practice. It's very simple. I've never ever done a consult with any single doc ever who actually knows that figure. They guess, they think they know, they're close. I'm not even over exaggerating when I don't think I've ever done what we often do. We do a breakfast with some of my inner circle docs, and we'll run through their metrics. And one of the things we'll look at, first thing I'll say is, what's your average visit fee? Every time, I literally don't think once has anyone properly, ruthlessly known that number. It's always a guesstimate. In my experience, more than likely, if you're watching this is just about to make you money, by the way. There is an average in life. It doesn't matter whenever we're talking about numbers. Do people overestimate or underestimate, or do they round up or round down? 9 times out of 10, people round up. So when I ask them what the average visit fee is, let's say they're adjustment only doc, they may say, well, I'm charging $60. I'm charging $60 an adjustment. My care plans are X, Y, or Z. So I would imagine my average visit fee is around, let's say they say 40 or 45. It's almost always 5 lower than what they say. And I have had many cases where the average visit fee was $10 lower than what they thought it was when I made them be ruthless with the numbers. So if you're going to clean this up, and I want you to do this, why is it important? First of all, if you understand right now, how many visits do you see a week? This is what I want you to do. Everyone's talking about new patients, and new patients is my thing, But I will tell my inner circle members there's a time in the journey where you have to stop just looking at new patients. You've got enough. Normally, if you're anywhere close to 10 a week, you can have the practice of your dreams at 10 a week, by the way. If you are constantly thinking that new patients is the answer to your journey or answer to your growth, and you're getting anywhere near than that, I can promise you it's not that. There's other levers that you're not pulling, and I'll do that in a separate episode. But for now, how do you clean that up? I want you to first know how much is going to make a difference in your practice. So how many visits you're seeing right now a week, and if all you did was increase your visit fee by an average of, let's say, $5 per visit, I want you to multiply your visits by 5, and then multiply that by, it's up to you, but at least you can multiply by 48. a lot of my statistics are done over 50 weeks because my practices are open all the time because I've got 8 practices. But for most of my docs, I would say, the maximum you'd multiply it by is 48 weeks. No one really works more than 48 weeks. But if you want to work 40 weeks a year, then multiply it by 40. But right now, I want you to be staring at that number. Stare at that number right now. Just by increasing it $5 times 200 visits, for instance, multiplied by 40 weeks, it's a lot of money. I'm sure it's going to come up on the screen here. It's a lot of money. So you have to understand right now that all you have to, if you can make that type of money by just making a decision, and my business partner once taught me that your life is directly proportionate to the amount of uncomfortable conversations you're prepared to have. Sometimes it's with ourselves. So if you just clean that up, that's often the 6-figure growth that you need. So let's go through that again. How do you clean that up? Number 1, know the stat. That's all. The first thing I'm going to say to you, anyone that's working with me, is know the stat. Don't want you to guess this. I don't want you to guess the stat. I want you to actually look right now. What are the collections this week, or what rather than collections? What were the takings, or what was the services this week? There's a difference between collections and services, which I'll go through in a different video. Collections is money taken, practice care plan sold, total money taken or revenue taken. And services is what did you actually bill each person for their, for instance, adjustment. So I want to know right now the services for the week divided by the amount of people in the schedule for the week. And I'll do this over a 3-month period or a 6-month period. The longer the better. And you want to be ruthless with yourself here. Don't try do things like, because what a lot of people do is, I'll take out the new patients out of the figure, so give a truer figure. I'd rather you have a worse figure, because you are truly only one terrible stat away from your massive growth. When everyone does numbers, most of the time we're a self-protection mechanism we love looking at, our stats are good. Well, that's not where you grow. I don't want you to look at good stats all the time. If you're only looking at good stats, it means you're not looking deep enough. No business only has good stats. I want you to look for bad stats. Stop only, you're like, oh, how's stats? Great, Ryan, everything's great. I'm like, I'm worried. There's no way you're going to always have good stats in your business. I mean, I'll never forget one specific stat that was a game changer for us was looking at our telephone answer rate. And when's the last time you did that? You spend all this money on marketing, you spend all this money on practice growth, you spend all this money on rentals, staffing, the whole works, but you don't answer the freaking phone. I was guilty of that. At one point in one of my practices, 25% of phone calls weren't being answered, incoming phone calls. That's a 7-figure potentially mistake across the board, across my 8 or 9 practices. That's a big mistake. So go and look for terrible stats in your business. And the first one I'm going to tell you to go look for is, go look for what is your actual average visit fee. Next, once you've done that, you want to make sure, first of all, that average visit fee is a rolling average visit fee that's on your scorecard, or your measurement, or the thing, or your whiteboard, or whatever it is, that needs to be put up there every single week. So the only way that you can improve any stat is measure it and report upon it. Your everything that's measured and reported upon kind of improves automatically. I'll never forget, one of my greatest mentors, Dan Kennedy, said one of the ways that he can get, and by the way, if you don't know, that Dan Kennedy started coaching within chiropractic. That's where he started. He had a program called Magnetic Marketing, which every chiropractor should own. And he said that he could probably guarantee growth in any single chiropractor if he just got them to do the following thing. All he got them to do was say, especially in the beginning where he was a bit smaller, he was able to just say to someone, all I want you to do is send me your stats on a weekly basis, and I want you to send me these stats. The act of going to find the stat and measure it and send it across to them created growth in the practice without them doing anything. Isn't that interesting? Why? Because there's only so long that you can look at a terrible stat in the face, or figuratively anyway, every single week before you get disgusted enough to do something about it. And Joe Polish taught me a phrase, and it was the power of disgust. The reason I'm a fan of looking at bad numbers is eventually you get disgusted with that number enough to do something about it. The emotions of disgust and shame are completely different emotions. Disgust can actually be very powerful. You're actually disgusted with the state of the thing enough to do something about it. It doesn't carry with it different charges that other emotions do. So I often say, are we measuring enough numbers to at least cause some pain so that we take action? So the next thing you want to know, number one, is go know what it is. Number two is, what is your line in the sand? Every practice owner should have a line in the sand. If you're an associate-based practice, very important for you. Associates will often lean on and over-discount wherever possible. If you give any a team member a crutch, they'll use it. So you will, it's like, children crave structure. While they may not like it, and sometimes they really need it to perform better and be at their best. So you need to give your team, in a way, structure. And one of the things is create a line in the sand. One of the lines in the sand that we have is that nobody gets seen less than 30%. I'm a bigger organization, so if you're 30% and lower, if you want to see someone for 30% off, then you have to get permission for that within my business structure. But now, the problem with you, if you're watching this and you're a single doc, is you are the person that needs to give yourself not permission. So you need to decide on a single figure where it's a no-go zone. For us, it's 30% off. So here's what stat I want you to do. I want you to go through your schedule over the last 60 days, and I want you to count how many people, once you've decided what that line in the sand is, and by the way, it's always grey. I know you're always going to see one or two people at 50% off, one or two freebies, etc. I get that, but you should know, because I will guarantee if you actually look at that stat, it's way bigger than you think. Way! If you look at how many people you saw for free, or how many people you saw below your line in the sand in the last 60 days, I promise you'll be horrified. Open plan docs, you way more than everyone else. Volume docs, that is a stat that will disgust you, I promise, into taking some type of action. But you do have to have that line in the sand. So go do that stat now. In the last 60 days, how many people did you see below your acceptable discount rate? And that's just to give you context. And then if you measure that every single rolling week, a 60-day post stat that rolls every week, a new stat, then I promise you it'll improve. So that's all I got for you today, but I promise you right now that is a money-making tip. It's impossible. So our business makes more money at 3,000 visits than it did at 3,500 visits because we cleaned up average visit fee. And let me be clear, no price rise. So that is one way to increase average visit fee, but I'm telling you, you can fix up your average visit fee without a price rise. It's very powerful when you do both, but you can clean it up without doing that. So we make more money at 3,000 visits than we did at 3,500 visits. I love and appreciate you guys. I am rooting for you. If you like this video, I promise you this will help you grow. Please trust me. Go do the stats. Go find a bit of disgust in your business so you can improve upon it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please share the video. Please comment on the video. Give me some feedback on what you'd like to see future videos on. It'll be helpful for me. I love and appreciate you. Thank you. Please share this with someone that would benefit from it. I really appreciate that. Hope this is helpful. I'll see you in the next video. I'm rooting for you. Hey docs, thanks for watching the video. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't yet got my book, it's completely free, New Patient Avalanche. It's exactly how I grew my 8 practices, saw 10,000 new patients every single year from the strategies in this book. Everything's in here. It's completely free. All you do is pay for the shipping and the postage. Click on the link. I promise to help your practice grow. See you at the next video.